So, welcome back to a new Game Stuff episode, and I've been meaning to do this for quite some time now, and I can finally get around to it. I'm a little behind on it, but here we go, and I'm just going to show some of the things I picked up in the last few months. I'll start off with games, and then I'll go to some movies and books and stuff like that. So, first of all, let's start off with some games I picked up, and one of the very first games I picked up was a couple months now ago is Destiny, and what are my thoughts about Destiny? I don't mind it. It's a good game. I was enjoying it for the first bit, playing it with my friends. I was enjoying it, then I kind of was getting closer to level 20, and I all of a sudden kind of stopped enjoying it. Where some of my other friends, they went off to level 28 plus and loved it. What do I think about it? I think it's Halo. It's kind of online. It's fun with your friends. I mean, like, this game is a lot of fun running around with your friends. The one-player mode, not so much, but there's a lot to do here. There is a lot of levels. I guess I was expecting, the way they kind of were hyping Destiny was just, I don't know what. I was expecting so much more of a huge world settings. I mean, like, massive worlds exploring. It's kind of like Phantasy Star Online. I can't grumble. It's the same levels over and over, broken into different sections. So I've done that before and I enjoyed it in the past. So I don't know. I guess going into Destiny, I was expecting a lot of different stuff. Rob loves this game. This is probably Rob's game of the year. For me, I didn't mind it, but it was okay. But I kind of lost a little steam with me a little fast. So I'm kind of over Destiny for now. Okay, what else have we been picking up and playing? Hyrule Warriors. Now, this game, as it was announced quite some time ago, what were my thoughts on it? I knew it was Dynasty Warriors, but with Zelda characters, and I knew what that was going in. And in playing it, graphically, it's excellent. Gameplay-wise, it's excellent. Animation-wise, excellent. But it is Dynasty Warriors. That's the core foundation of this game. You're fighting wave after wave after wave of enemies. And is it enjoyable? Absolutely. Is it my type of game? I don't know if it is. I played the first few levels and then I've never gone back, and I'm kind of wondering if I'm going to. And it's unfortunate because there's a lot of, I was having a lot of fun playing it. I wasn't going, oh my god, this is terrible. This is a fun game. I maybe should have waited for it to go on the cheaper. I bought it for full price, but maybe I might go back to it. It really has some charm going on to it. So, okay, here we go. I did a kind of a let's play. I don't even like to call them that, but a little bit of a playthrough with it, first impressions with Kim, and that was for Bayonetta 2. What are my thoughts on Bayonetta 2? It's on in the other room right now. I'm on the final level, which is level, chapter 16. I'm about to go and face the final boss and kind of finish this game, and I'm gonna go back to it. I'm gonna play it again on a harder difficulty because I just started off on easy. What are my thoughts on this game? It is great. It's an awesome action game. It's very visual though, so there's a lot of cinemas. There's a lot of cinemas. So a lot of times you're watching more cinemas than you're playing the game. I find at times. And the story is okay. It's a bit all over the place. It's nothing. I don't play Bayonetta for the damn storyline, and I can really admit that. What is the gameplay like? The gameplay is you have a lot of combos. There's a lot of different moves you can do. It really is wave after wave of bosses, if you really want to call it that. You do some jumping from some levels here and there. You get to some smaller characters. You fight them, and then you boss character, and you kind of do that rinse and repeat over and over. But the one thing I can say is it's fun. The game is a lot of fun. I mean, once I start playing this game, I'm in the game. No pun intended. But I'm totally absorbed into it, and the action is over the top. There's a lot of button mashing, but it is about the evading. So when an enemy's about to come down on you, do an attack on you, you just evade. You get out of the way, then it opens up an attack for you to get in there. And it's kind of addicting. It's kind of fun, and I really like Bayonetta 2. I do recommend the game. It's something I hate giving scores to games, but I really give it about an 8 out of 10 for enjoyment-wise. Music-wise, the music is orchestrated. It's wonderful. Visual-wise, I mean, like, probably one of the best-looking games I've ever seen on the Wii U. And I know there's all these arguments that Wii U is underpowered. Well, man, I tell you, when I was watching that Centipede level in this game, it was so awe-inspiring. It's like, oh my god, this is a memorable moment in video games, and I really want you guys to know that Bayonetta 2 is a lot of fun. Yeah, if you want to get it on the cheap, definitely do that, but give it a go. If you've got a Wii U, you're into action games, you have to buy Bayonetta 2. This one is a high school memory for me. The Super Nintendo had just come out, and we're all really enjoying it, all the kids in the neighborhood. But one guy across the road from my high school had this game, and I can tell you, he was across the road from the high school. Do you think we were in high school at the time? No, we were always at his house playing FZero, one of the best racing games besides Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. I mean, FZero is so fucking classic, and it's so classic for a reason. It is a lot of fun, and the amount of hours I would play FZero at my friend's place, his name was Trevor Homeless, across the road. I mean, I would go knock on the door over there, and you'd open up the door, and it was just full of all my friends from high school. We're just all sitting there playing F-Zero. It's so funny, but I was able to get this from Game Deals for around 25 bucks, I think it was. Mint Beautiful, and man, I'm buying a memory here, and that's a lot of times what I'm doing when I'm buying a lot of these older games is I'm buying a memory, and I'm buying that fun time I had across the road from high school with this one, F-Zero. Okay, here's a peripheral, and I think the last time I bought a headset was probably 1999. It's been that long. But I needed one. I really needed one because Kim sometimes goes to bed and I want to play my games super loud, and you know, I picked up this. I got it at Best Buy. I got a really good deal on it. It's the Gold Wireless Stereo Headset by Sony, and I got it at Best Buy. It was about $65, and I gotta say, for watching movies, playing games, I've been impressed. Could it be louder? Yeah, it could be louder, but does it do the job? Yes. So I can just put on my huge honking headphones, play games, watch movies on a night, and I recommend this. I would say this is a very, very good headset. Is there better headsets out there? Yes. Yes, there is. But this one, for the price value and for what I needed, it's doing the trick. So, okay, now it's some time for some anime. Some anime here. And I picked these up, and they've been released again by Discotek. And I had the VHS copies, subtitled, back in the day when these were first released in the 90s. And Discotek, great company, anime company, have re-released them on DVD, kind of remastered. They look a lot better than what I've ever seen them. And that is, the first one is Fatal Fury, the movie, and then it is Fatal Fury, the OVAs. It's been a long time since I've seen them. I will say this much, of these two DVD sets here, I like the Fatal Fury OVAs the most. They feel more faithful to the original storylines of the SNK Neo Geo games, and the storylines of that with, Terry Bogard, Andy Bogard, and Joe Higashi going up against Geese and Krauser. I like the OVAs a lot. I think they're classic. They show their age a bit. Sure, it's 90s anime, but it's fun. I'm really happy they made these. And Fatal Fury the movie, this doesn't hold up as well, I gotta say. It's an original storyline, and they're looking for the armor of God type of thing, this legendary armor kind of thing. And I personally, I don't really like it that much. I don't like the character designs. I think the character designs are very, very weak compared to the OVAs, and they just kind of went in this really weird type of way, and I don't know. Me and Kim, a couple weekends ago, sat down and we watched all of these in one weekend. We watched the movie and the two OVAs, and a lot of fun. One thing I gotta say about Fatal Fury the movie that I think is if you have the movie, you get some friends, you're looking for a drinking game, and I like to sometimes come up with these drinking games. Every time they say Terry Bogard, you have to take a shot. I'm telling you, you'll be drunk after 15 minutes. You'll be done. It's so funny. The bad guys will always be like, "Oh, Terry Bogard, oh." And it's great, but he does it like every 5 minutes. Every character is always going, Terry Bogard, always something like that. So play the Terry Bogard drinking game. You'll get drunk, and you'll have a lot of fun. Okay, for some regular movies right now. Here, let's just get through some of these real fast. An old Roger Corman movie I have never I didn't know existed, and it's called The Sorceress. Oh my god, was this movie ever fucking terrible? Terrible in a great way? Yeah, it is. The first 5 minutes are legendary. You're like, this is going to be the best movie I've ever seen. And then 5 minutes later, you're like, this is terrible. It really works out that way. And what can I say? Like, just check it out. Maybe check out a trailer for it. It's really horrendous stuff. Me and Kim watched it one night, and she was enjoying it. She was having a couple of drinks. She's like, I love this movie. And I'm like, I'm getting through this movie. But, you know, it's one of those movies, it's so bad, it's good. It's really one of those. Speaking of so bad, it's good, we come to the next movie, and a movie I've never seen before. I can't believe I've never seen this before until I think it was like October 1st or 2nd. Ah, man, I was watching a documentary about it on Netflix, and they stopped in the documentary and they said, if you've never seen this movie, stop right now and go and buy it. Just don't keep watching this documentary. Go and buy this movie. I was so moved, I did. And I went and I got my car and I drove to this DVD Blu-ray warehouse I go to called the CNL. And I bought this. And I brought it home and I said to my mom was visiting me for about a week too with me and Kim. And I said, listen guys, let's sit down and let's watch this. Let's have a drink and start Halloween. We get all the Halloween decorations were up. I cracked a pumpkin ale, something I like to kind of drink during Halloween-y time. And we watched Troll 2. I watched Troll 2 with my mother. Okay? And it is a fucking great movie. I mean, this is going to be a brand new Halloween movie for myself that I have to watch every Halloween. It's so hilarious. It's not scary. It's absolutely stupidly awesome. And Rob had been telling me about this movie for years, saying, "Oh, Troll 2," and I was just like, "Oh yes, about trolls and yeah." But you have to experience it. The crazy dialogue, the insane dialogue, the terrible acting, the overacting, everything that makes a good bad movie. This is it. Troll 2, highly recommended. Oh, and here we go. Ghostbusters. It's the 4K version on Blu-ray, and man, I was so upset. Me and Kim went to the 30th anniversary of Ghostbusters in the theater, and I had the worst theater experience in my entire life. I'm not kidding you. I've had some bad theater experiences, but this was the worst. I was so excited to see Ghostbusters 30 years later, and I'd seen it in 1984 3 times in 1 week. That's how much I enjoyed the movie. We got to the theater, we bought our tickets, we're so excited. I said, Kim, I can't wait to see this movie after 30 years. It's going to be incredible to watch it again. It's gonna be like touching my childhood. So we get in there, and the movie, it's kind of, you know, the movie's about to start, and there's these two this couple, and they just wouldn't shut the fuck up. I mean, there was blah 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 blah, eating their popcorn, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, they just wouldn't shut up, and they were loud, and they were fucking annoying. And I'm like, okay, when the movie starts, I'm sure they'll be quiet. No, so the trailers start, and these guys won't shut. They enjoy talking and hearing their own voices more than they do about sitting in the darkness watching this trailer or a movie that you're there for 30 years fucking later. They're just blah blah, and I mean they're talking this stupidest nerdy garbage talk I've ever heard in my life. I mean, it was so pointless. I'm like, is this really that important to talk about right now? But anyways, that's besides the point. Something else was going on, and I'm not against children in any sense of the way, but some lady had sat right at the front of the theater, right in the front row, nobody's there, and she brought 2 3-year-olds. And like, I've got nothing against kids, please hear me on this one, I don't at all, I like kids a lot, but bringing 2 3-year-olds to a movie theater for Ghostbusters? What? The problem is, these kids, like, so here, okay, the lights, we're watching the trailers, and all I hear is this, and I'm like, oh, please, just tell your kid to be quiet, please, come on, I really want to enjoy this movie. And I got these fuckers up here, still blabbering on, you know. The movie starts, and the movie, because it's an older movie, I think, and also because I'm in an older theater, the sound isn't super loud. So, these guys' voices are louder than the speakers. These kids down there are louder than anything. Now, what's happening, the kids are running back and forth in front of the screen. But what's worse than anything, one of the kids has fucking lights on his shoes. I don't understand the technology. I don't really have kids right now, but there's like fucking lights coming off their shoes, and they're shooting up these blue lights. And I'm like, And I see these lights and it's going in front of the screen, and the kid and the mother doesn't even give a fuck. That's what's making me mad. I've got no problem with the kids. It's the mother's fault. She's not calling the kids back. I'm like, fuck. I'm just like, and so these kids are running. The laser fucking lights are shooting up, and I'm sitting there going, I can't do this, man. I can't do this. I'm like, this is ruining my. And we're like 10 minutes into the movie now. I'm like, I'm not in the movie. I'm all about this stuff that's going on. The next thing is, the kid runs up the stairs, runs up the main stairway to the main upper theater where we're all at, and the mother's just sitting there staring, and the kid comes up and it's like staring, looking at me, and I'm like, hey buddy, I'm like, and I'm looking at the mother and she's not doing anything, and like other people were leaving to go and complain. I mean, it was just so crazy. I couldn't believe all this had happened, and I just said, Kim, I gotta go. We gotta go. I can't do this. And we left. And I was so, we got refunded. And I was so disappointed. And I was like, oh God, like, what the fuck happened? So, long story short, I bought Ghostbusters on Blu-ray, the 4K version, so I can watch it at home. Maybe where I should have watched it to begin with, and enjoy it from a privacy at my own home. And yeah, that was the worst theater experience I've had in my life. That was honestly the worst theater experience I've ever had in my life. But anyways, I have Ghostbusters now. Things are happy again. Some other Blu-rays I have not watched yet. I have not seen this since back in the day. I'll quickly mention them. Ninja 3: The Domination. Now, my friend and I used to be big fans of ninjas in the 80s. Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and then Ninja 3: The Domination. The holy trio going on there. These were great movies, and stupid movies in a lot of ways, but they were the best ninja movies at the time, so we held them quite high in reverence. And the Ninja 3: The Domination, happy to get that. I cannot wait to watch that really soon. Man, I saw this in theaters back, I think, 1982. This came out in 1982 or 83. Man, this really, I love this movie. Is it a nostalgic movie? Yes. Is it kind of cheesy with a lot of things now? Yes. But it's still one of my favorites, and that is Crawl on Blu-ray, and I have it on DVD. So happy to have it on Blu-ray. I cannot wait to watch this again. I mean, such childhood memories of, the Glade, that weapon he had, throwing it, it's like a huge ninja star. It's great stuff. And if you haven't seen Crawl, it's a great sci-fi fantasy movie, and I recommend it. Check it out, whatever way you can get it, check it out. Man, I haven't seen this since the early 80s, and I think it was on like the HBO, which was Super Channel up here in Canada back then, and I think I saw this on there. Blue Thunder, about this attack helicopter, military-style helicopter. And I need to watch this again. I haven't seen it since then. It's been quite a few years, so I'm really curious to see Blue Thunder, see what that's all about nowadays. Book recommendations. We got some books here. First of all, for my friends, Hardcore Gaming 101, my first buddy here, has released a book. There was a Kickstarter for it, and this is the official book that has been released now. It is The Untold History of Japanese Game Developers. And we got a cover here done by the Fantasy Star artist. So great to see that. Wow. And look at this book here. That's quite thick, isn't it? It is. This book is so goddamn in-depth. It's crazy. I mean, it is. Look at this. If you are interested in the 80s and 90s, days of game development, of some of the older games like Strider and a lot of the old RPGs, and man, there's so much here. This is a crazy read. Talking to Yuzo Koshiro. I mean, if you're a fan of Japanese video games in any capacity, I highly recommend The Untold History of Japanese Game Developers. It's a really fun read. There's a lot of... I'm telling you, John did such a great job in his interviews, and that's what he did. He went to Japan, and he interviewed all of these creators himself, and he got all of this information from these interviews. I mean, stuff that we would never get any other ways, and I just want to applaud you for your efforts in doing such a wonderful book. And this is a great thing for video game fans in general, like to find out information that we would never hear in any other way. Like, this is quite literally the untold history, and I recommend it. You can find it on Amazon. This stuff is on Amazon, and I recommend it. It's a really intense read. Listen to this. Yeah, it's pretty big. Other great reads, and I just recently picked this up. Another hardcore gaming 101, incredible legendary book here. I will call it that. Castlevania, the book on Castlevania. Look at this. I'm just gonna flip through this. This is your holy archive of everything that is Castlevania game-wise. So, say you're brand new to the series, you're interested in Castlevania, highly recommend this book. It takes you from the very beginnings, and gives you all the great information. We're talking the Game Boy games, the PlayStation 1 games, the arcade games. I can go on. It's been on every system. You guys know that for anybody who's a big Castlevania fan. And it's really in-depth. Like, this, there's a lot to learn. So if you're a fan of Castlevania or you want to learn more about it, this is my big recommendation. Really great book. Both these books are high recommendations for me. I'm ending the episode with just some Dungeons and Dragons books here. And I picked up this is D&D next. Dungeons and Dragons, the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual, and one of the adventures, Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Now, I remember I did a small episode on an unboxing of the starter set for D&D Next, and at that point I hadn't played it. I had some ideas what it was going to be like, but I was fascinated to give it a shot. Now, me and my friends are still playing 4th edition. We are still on that, but my train ride down to Portland, I got to do something that I've never been able to do before, and that is play a character in that starter set. And one of my friends DM'd, and me and Rob were playing as characters, and my friend Brian from Game Deals, he was one of the other players. And we played for 4 hours going down to Portland, and the time flew by like that. What do I think? I got something to say about Dungeons and Dragons here, and I think it's really true. Different versions of this game may come and go. Different rule sets, all of that. And I'm honestly going to say something, I don't think it's controversial, but I'll say it anyways. I don't think it really matters what version of Dungeons & Dragons you're playing with. What I think matters immensely is the people that you're playing with. The DM that you're playing with. It's the chemistry you have with your players. It's the storytelling that you do with each other. That's where D&D comes in. That's the true magic of this game. There's different rules, roll different dice and all that kind of stuff. Do this, skill check, all that stuff. Those are the fundamentals of the game, and each version of it has some good rules. But the real trick is in the storytelling and how the DM handles the players and all that. I'm telling you, I had one of the best times I've ever had playing Dungeons and Dragons. And it was Carrie was the DM, as a friend of mine, Carrie was the DM. But I don't know if it was just the rule set. The rule set was interesting. Advantage, disadvantage system. Say you have the advantage in a battle that you can roll your 20-sided dice twice and take the higher roll. Or if you have the disadvantage, you roll 2 dice and you take the lower one. So there's different rules for sure in all these games, but man, we had a great time, and maybe one time in a D&D episode, D&D stories, I can tell you about the story that transpired in that 4 hours. It was really excellent, and we were playing the starter set, the box set I was telling you about, and it was really a lot of fun. So anyways, guys, my God, this has been a long episode. There's a lot to get through, a lot of talking about a lot of cool stuff, and I really enjoyed some of the pickups this month. A lot of really, really great books, a lot of really great movies, and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, guys, until next time.